I am sorry. Are you okay?
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Breakfast Club of Boxing as GTO is still Grammy. Just it's the passion, man. And we're here to talk about the big fight. Super duper, duper duper big fight. We are live and taking phone calls.
Boxing Voice. Boxing Voice. Boxing Voice. Boxing Voice. Ayo Ness, roll up the Hardin. I just landed at Reed, I'm trying party. Roll up. Shout out to I mean. We rollin' permanent marker. Be careful, this jabber stain you like a permanent marker. Size them up, then back them down. Vander Holyfield posture. All these other shows frauds. We the real, they imposters. We got like 2 phones lit. I'm on my 2-tone ish. Ness drop the line up. We got Bill Haney on the list. Whether it's X or Discord, hit the line. The floor is yours. You ain't feeling my opinion? We can meet at Border Wars. Throw you straight and I'ma slip. Throw my straight, you know it's lit. I take this rollie off my wrist and throw some gloves on this. I throw some gloves on this and turn the money made. Hit the subscribe button, it's free and you can join the day. And hit that champ level. Appreciate it. We live every day, twice a day. We stay dedicated. This the Boxing Voice. No better way to start your day. If it's hot, we got the drop, and that's each and every day. Whether you on the West Coast or the East, press play. 6 a.m. or 9 a.m., we'll get you through your day. This the Boxing Voice. No better way to start your day. If it's hot, we got the drop, and that's each and every day. Whether you on the West Coast or the East, press play. They tuning in from New York all the way to the UK.
This is just too easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. What up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nesta Gibbs, and we are back for a second edition of the Boxing Voice, where we're going to be talking about the first ballot legendary Hall of Fame fighter, Vasiliy Lomachenko, ends. Murataya rises as an IBF king. We shall see. This is what we're going to be discussing. If you guys are interested, you can just call in and yeah, man, get in queue to voice your opinion and give us your take on today's topic. Once again, we are talking Vasiliy Lomachenko's retirement from the sport, the elevation that came today via the IBF for Murataya. So we're going to dive into the lightweight division, specifically Vasiliy Lomachenko, his career, the retiring, the passing of the IBF crown to Raymond Muratalla, the current IBF interim champion that was newly elevated to the position of champion today. At 37 years old, Loma leaves a legacy of unmatched footwork in the game, right? No one has had the footwork and the angles of a Vasiliy Lomachenko. So, that's a little something that's in his bag that people will have to, for years to come, try to surpass or at least compare themselves to that legendary footwork, But questions do linger. Was he truly done? People wanted that Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and, they didn't care that Loma was 37 and that it'd been almost 7 years, if not 7 years, that he'd been chasing that Tank fight. We wanted it. And I say we know, and I myself thought it was spoiled milk, but you guys, you still wanted it. And people questioned whether Loma could come back or was he, holding out for more money. So we'll unpack the Murataya rise to world champion, his upcoming mandatory defense against the winner of Andy Cruz versus Hironori Mishiro. And what that means for the 135-pound division. Can Murataya hold on to that IBF title for multiple defenses, or can he hold off the Cuban prodigy, Andy Cruz, who has been on the internet, you know, very vocal about everything that took place with Keyshawn Davis, his nemesis, right? So we got some polls on the situation that we're going to put on our live chat here on youtube.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We'll also put one on the community page, Twitter, and Discord for anybody that wants to participate, man. But Lomachenko, you know, he is a 3-division world champion. He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. He did announce his retirement on June 5th at the age of 37. He took to social media and gave a heartfelt speech to his fans, directly to his fans, versus some sort of informal, you know, message written up. He literally sat on a chair and spoke to his fans directly, letting them know what his current decision was and is going to be. Now, his final fight was May 2024, where he stopped George Kambosos. A lot of us not happy that he or Kambosos were in that vacant title shot. But some people, you know, they argued that Vasiliy Lomachenko was a legend, and, you know, if he wanted a title shot, similar to Manny Pacquiao, who just got a title shot based off of doing much of nothing, was kind of the argument for Loma. He's a legend. He's put it in. You know, it's no big deal that Kambosos, in the eyes of many, was coming off of arguably 4 losses. People were more excited that it was Loma that was getting this other opportunity at, you know, potentially becoming a world champion yet again. And, you know, the possibility of him having that title kind of had people excited that potentially that could entice Tank Davis to actually fight Loma, because it would be for a unification, something that, you know, he hasn't been able to get on his resume at the moment, right? Tank has accomplished a lot, and he himself is a potential Hall of Famer based off his accomplishments, but on those accomplishments, the resume doesn't necessarily read unification. It means, you know, it reads multiple division champion, jumping up and doing pound-for-pound things, but not necessarily unified. That's been one of those things that's escaped Tank Davis. Now, maybe Murataya could become that dance partner, as Tank has come up under that tutelage of Mayweather. Mayweather told you what the green print was. He didn't leave it as some secret that we had to go and discover as if it was a national treasure. He told you what it is. If you want to succeed, he left you the green print, and he told you fight a Latino fighter. Put a Latino across from a African American, and that is Mayweather special a la green print. So, you know, with Murataya being a Mexican and, you know, Andy Cruz being Afro-Cuban, you kind of got the green print. You know, Andy Cruz trained with Bozienis. For the most part, he looks as if he is African American. He can fit that bill. Tank Davis, African American, perfect matchup for Murataya. You know, again, Tank coming under that Mayweather tutelage, and, you know, if you fight a Mexican, it's the green print, so this is the perfect dance partner for a Tank Davis as well. Now, Lomachenko, he's going to get in there, and I mean in their Hall of Fame. Obviously, footwork, numerous accolades, the 396 wins as an amateur, known for his angles, his technical mastery, right? Murataya, He's gotten elevated, so now he starts his run. Can he become an IBF king? Can he get some title defenses? Look how hard it was for Keyshawn to get his first. He didn't get his first. There's an unwritten rule that if you don't actually defend your title, you're not really considered a champion. Now, the 28-year-old Mexican-American won the interim title via unanimous decision against Zaur Abdullayev. Abdullayev, you know, good fighter. Lost to Devin Haney, knocked out Jorge Linares. You know, that was Murataya's first mandatory defense. So he got past that first defense that Keyshawn was not able to make. Now, Andy Cruz is in an eliminator versus Mishiro, and the winner of that is actually going to be the IBF champions mandatory, and that fight is an IBF title eliminator. That's going to happen June 14th in Madison Square Garden on the undercard of Richardson Hitchens and George Kambosos. Yes, the same George we talked about getting a title shot with Vasiliy and losing is now getting a title shot in the division above with Hitchens. Hopefully he does better, but I don't know. Cruz now is ranked number 3 by the IBF and is favored due to his amateur pedigree, dominant performance over less than lackluster opposition, let's just say. He had a shutout over tough veteran Omar Salcido that we watched develop on ProBox, but he hasn't fought an elite-level fighter as of yet. Mishiro's resume lacks top-tier wins as well. And, you know, in 2023, he lost to some guy named Ming-Hoon Jung. So that fight is an undercard fight on George Kambosos, and I don't really know how eager Bob Arum and Top Rank are going to be to put Murataya in there with an Andy Cruz who hasn't really been tested. Now, the good thing is that Murataya has a lot of power. And Andy Cruz, we all seen that man get hurt by, what's my boy's name? Oh, yeah, Antonio Moran, right? So for Robert Garcia and Bob Arum, maybe putting Raymond Muratalla, the champion, in there with Andy Cruz, who's got 6 fights. He'll have 6 fights maybe when he has to fight Murataya. And the name that he's fought that is a veteran or with the most skill would have been Antonio Moran. Like, I say throw him in there for sure. I say throw him in there for sure because he doesn't have the experience. Murataya has been able to get, you know, plenty of experience. He's had plenty of seasoning. Yeah. Throw Murataya in there with Andy Cruz and throw Andy to the wolves at this point. It's the perfect challenge for Andy. Murataya is a power puncher. You know, power is something that's in his style. He's got 17 KOs and 23 wins. Yeah. They do call Murataya a bit one-dimensional, but I think that he's been able to show some boxing skills, some patience, some poise. You know, he doesn't really make any crazy mistakes. Starting to come into his own. Perfect timing. You know, perfect timing and a perfect name in Andy Cruz to make a name for himself and further cement his IBF, you know, title run. Because Andy does have that clout from all the chasing that he's done versus Keyshawn Davis, right? Any chance he gets, he's in the media talking about Keyshawn Davis. So, you know, Murataya can capitalize off that, potentially, you know, have a good win on his resume. But this is what we're talking about. If you guys are interested, you can call in and voice your opinion. Lomachenko's legacy is definitely one that, you know, it's going to be hard to see another fighter come in with that level of amateur background, 396 wins, only 1 loss, 2 Olympic gold medals, 3 division world title champion, maybe 20-something fights, maybe less. Some may feel that his retirement was premature. Obviously, you got guys like Terrence Bud Crawford, who at 37 is taking on the most dangerous career challenge, where Lomachenko at 37 is retiring. And Murataya would have been no challenge the level of Canelo Crawford. But what's Cruz's destiny going to be? Is he the next big thing at 5-0 with 2 measly KOs? Is he the next best thing? Does his Olympic pedigree and his dominant win over Salcido make him a threat to Murataya? Is that why maybe Eddie is looking to fast track him? Is the time right now, and that Loma, the White Wolf, has retired? Now we're ready to fast track Andy Cruz. We've kind of been waiting for Cruz to get in position for some time now. They've literally made Keyshawn eat himself out of the division. I thought that was the fight to make. But now, Andy ready to take the leash off, get in an eliminator, and potentially fight for the title versus Murataya, but his nemesis is no longer there. He's waited so long to get in title contention that Keyshawn has potentially moved out of the division. And the 135-pound landscape, without a Loma, without a Keyshawn, it's not looking as good, because Tank is in his own world doing his own thing. But can we see Bob Arum and Team Murataya stall that defense against the Cruz Mishiro winner to buy some time? Or will they try to stall that defense because there will be in negotiations with a potential Tank Davis for a unification, giving Tank something he's never gotten with the perfect opponent, who happens to be one of the elements to the green print? Why do some fans even believe that Cruz versus Mishiro should be the headline over Hitchison's Kambosos? I mean, I get the Kambosos arguably is coming off of 4 losses, but Hitchison undefeated, dominant, and fought better opposition than Andy Cruz. Why would anybody be asking Andy Cruz to be the main event is ridiculous and just crazy to me. But this is what we're talking about. If you guys are interested, you know what to do. We're taking phone calls via Discord, via X Spaces, and I haven't quite done those polls I talked about, but I'll start getting those ready for anybody that wants to answer. The first one is going to be, can Murataya hold the IBF title for multiple defenses? Can we see him being a champion that actually defends his title? You know? Again, Keyshawn was not able to get to that point. Unwritten rule says you're not even a champ until you defend that title at least one time. Will Murataya fall short, or can he actually make it to the defense and make a successful title defense? But this is what we're talking about. Discord available. X Spaces also available. We're talking Lomachenko, the White Wolf, his retirement, Murataya's rise to full IBF champion, and we're asking, can he actually become an IBF king? Is he going to be able to make multiple defenses? Is he going to be known as a true champion, a dominant champion, similar to a Tank Davis and a Lomachenko? We got Fight Sports Talk. What up?
What's up, Nestor? Thanks for having me on, man. Really appreciate it. And I'm glad I could jump on the show talking about Lomachenko, because he's not only been one of my favorite fighters for not just the last few years, but ever. I've been hoping he would retire. And I felt it was inevitable once he pulled out of the Tank Davis negotiations last year. And I'm glad Muratalla has got his opportunity because, he's a good fighter. And also, lightweight needs a reform. Like, with all the big names leaving, Teo, Devin, Garcia was never really in the division, but whatever, he's no longer a factor. The division needs these guys to fight each other. So I'm hoping we get Muratalla against. Well, I was hoping we would get the Keyshawn fight, but he's just ruined everything. But yeah, salute to Lomachenko. Great career. I'm glad he retired. And yeah, hopefully next year I'm calling into your guys' show talking about fights that are happening between the champions.
When you say champions, are you expecting Tank to send an offer to Murataya, or do you see that not happening?
Well, I wish I had a crystal ball. I would hope that Tank. I hope that they do it. I hope that this Jake Paul thing is a complete farce, and it's not even really serious. It's just a rumor, a stupid rumor put out by God knows who. Yeah, Muratalla for me is the kind of guy, and I love the guy, great guy. I hope he does well, but he's the type of fighter that I think Tank in his prime would look at and say, yeah, I can knock this guy out, because Muratalla's good, but he's not really spectacular in any way. But after Tank's performance against Roach, I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, there was a part of me, just going back to Loma quickly, there was a part of me that wondered if Loma looked at how bad Tank was in the first Roach fight and thought, if I had just not turned down the deal, if I had taken the fight, I would have beaten him. So Tank looked so bad that night, I don't know what he's got left. Maybe it was just a bad night, maybe, who knows. So I hope that they do look at the Muratalla fight. The other fight, of course, is Shakur, but we don't know if Shakur is going to be. I mean, I hope that everything that happened with Turkey is just temporary, and they will go on to have more fights. But if not, maybe he goes to PBC. I mean, unlikely, but all the champions right now are in different organizations, which for us as fans, we know doesn't always look good, but there's money to be made, and hopefully, because there's no other big fights in the division, these guys can fight each other next year.
Well, all right, champ. Appreciate your call. You still got a few minutes left if you need to unpack. About 17 seconds. If not, I will move on, get to the next caller. Do appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Nesta. I'll just plug my channel for your audience, Fight Sport Talk. Also on, my Twitter's been banned for some reason. Also on Facebook, Instagram. Going to be streaming soon. Appreciate you having me on, man, and all the best.
All right, man. Send me a DM, man. Maybe we'll get you on the panel, bro.
Thank you, brother. Will do.
All right.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Taking phone calls if you want to call in. Today's topic is the retirement of Lomachenko and the rise of new IBF champion Murataya. Can he become an IBF king and actually defend that belt, unlike Keyshawn? Will he be that missing piece of the green print for Tank Davis? We all know Floyd told us that the green print is an African-American across the ring from a Latin fighter. Murataya fitting that bill. Will he get his opportunity in a big fight with Tank Davis? We got Alex Vega. What up? Alex Vega. Vega, what up? While we wait for Mr. Vega to connect, don't forget it's free to hit the thumbs up, free to hit the repost, retweet. You there? My friend. Okay, he seems to be having some sort of issues. Big Gucci Nick.
What up, gang? How the audio sound?
You straight.
Yeah, man, Vega must have borrowed Teresa's Burger King headset, man. Having some troubles over there.
That's that Florida
Um,
Wi-Fi.
word. Yo, shout out my guy Ness. You don't skip a beat, man. Grinding on the second show, man. See,
do
the
it.
second show is the best show for me, bro, because I get to chill, blaze, and listen to this shit.
Let's go.
But yo, Vasiliy Lomachenko, man, undoubtedly a Hall of Famer, man. I don't even think it's arguable who had the best footwork and angles in the game in history, man. You got to give that to Lomachenko. His shit cannot even be imitated, bro. That's some legendary shit. Um, he might even be the best 130 pounder in history, man. Facts. Hit the applause soundbite real quick.
What about Duran and shit?
Yeah, but I mean, them dudes is they're known for like punching power and shit like that, man. When you look at Lomachenko, man, that shit look majestic. The way he moving with the angles, bro, I can't even. I've never seen a fighter do that, bro. I gotta give him his flowers for real. Um, but yo, I feel like him and Pretty Boy Floyd would be a prime for prime at 130. That'd be a crazy fight. You feel me? Um, but yo, moving on to the new crop, man. Murataya, the new IBF email champ, man. Shout out to him. Um, look, no disrespect. He definitely the weakest link, facts, of all four champions. Um, this gonna sound crazy, right? I know my guy Abdullah, Inshallah, Mason, he in the WBO route, man. But shit, he in the top 15 of the IBF, bro. Both top ranked fighters. And they need a new Keyshawn apparently, man. So, yo, that'd be a crazy fight, man. I would give that to Abdullah. I mean, imagine him being the IBF champ. Yo, 135. The lineup would look crazy, man. What you think about that, Ness? That's kind of like the green print too, man. Abdullah versus Murataya, same umbrella. You know they could make that happen if the tank fight like falls off, because you know he tied up a roach and shit. What you think about that? You think it's possible?
Murataya Tank?
Nah, Murataya Abdullah. Like, I mean, both top
Whoa.
ranked fighters.
I don't know, man. Murataya, like, he's in the IBF. Abdullah's in the WBO. It's two separate paths to stardom, right? You got your Mexican American star and you got your African American Abdullah that's already on a meteoric rise because of his style. So those guys will pit against each other later. I highly doubt they're going to put Mason in there with Murataya with no belt. You know, after the WBO, I could see them two fighting, but without a belt, nah.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. Shit, that'd be a crazy fight though, man. When they do collide, shit, I see Murataya even losing that belt before they collide. But that would still be a crazy fight, man. But yeah, gang, I'm gonna keep listening.
All right, all right. We appreciate you. Okay, shout out to Trilosphily telling me Spaces isn't working. I don't know why, but hopefully we are reconnected now. I don't know. Maybe that works. Hopefully. If not, we're going to have to switch it over. We got Alex Vega on the check-in. What is up?
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
All right, excellent. Yeah, man. Good evening. Man, Lomachenko, what a career. You know, from, like you said, the storied amateur record, winning a couple gold medals, to then second fight losing, to going ahead and being three-division champion. Honestly, man, one of my favorite fighters to watch. To watch him, that offensively, the footwork, the pace he put on, the way he was able to make guys quit. I mean, he made a lot of good fighters quit. Rigon Diao, Nicholas Walters, man, he beat Jorge Linares out. Listen, 135, he was undersized. It was plain as day, and he was there just beating on guys, man. But you saw, the more he stood at 135, the more people started to figure out what to do with him. Big, strong guys, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, they were able to get wins over him. And that's okay. That's no shame. I kind of wish, not kind of, I really do wish though, that this wasn't a way that the belt was being transferred. You know, we wanted to, you like to mention something about passing up a guard. And once again, we're not getting that with Loma. He didn't fight Tank. You know, of course, people are going to blame Tank, you know, for over the years. He didn't fight Shakur, and he didn't fight Keyshawn. And now, you know, Murataya's getting the belt. So Murataya's you know, he's a guy he has a lot of good wins. Really shocked that he went the IBF route. Looking at him, I'm just, for him to take on the rehydration clause, I didn't think he'd be able to make it. I'm sure if he would have rehydrated well, you know, without the 10 pounds, holding him back for a few hours, he probably would have stopped the dude that he beat for the interim. But I want to say this, man, we got to stop with this email shit. Like, how is it Murataya's fault that the dude wouldn't fight him? How is it Brian Norman's fault that Terrence Crawford wouldn't fight him? Jerron Boots Ennis' fault. Like, Devin Haney, how is it his fault that Loma didn't fight him when the opportunity was there? And there's rules and regulations. Like, we got to stop with this, man. We put these guys down so much. Lomachenko got what, 3 or I think only 3 losses. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Just because they lost doesn't make them, you know, trash. And just because they get elevated doesn't make them not a true champion. I mean, it just gets really aggravating because, all right, Brian Norman, he has his defense. People are going to say, well, he got elevated. All right, cool. Keyshawn took the belt from a champion, stopped him in the guy's first defense. And so that guy wasn't a true champion, even though he won a vacant belt, right? He beat I think the guy, Navarrete, was a 2 or 3 division champ, trying to go for a new division. Like, bro, we got to stop, man. Like, we can't devalue everything. These guys are taking on fights. Are these going to be, you know, knows as the greatest fights in the history of boxing? No, but we try to act like those happen every year with every fighter. Like, that's just, yo, man, that's what makes the fights big. It's because when we get them, we've been starving for it. I'm not saying that I enjoy that, but that's the history of time tells you that this isn't the 80s with the 4 kings, man. Maybe that's why people get upset with them calling the new best of 4 kings. But Murataya, I think Andy Cruz is a style all wrong for him. Like I said, with him, the rehydration clause, I think I would definitely favor Andy. But we have to see Andy more. It's only been 5 fights. You know, going off of style and going off the opposition, you know, maybe once it goes up, all right, that's my time. Maybe when the opposition goes up, things may look different. Appreciate the time.
All right, champ. All right. We got Cliff in Connecticut. What is up? Phone lines open for those that want to call in, voice their opinion. What up, Cliff?
Nah, man, those is email belt champions. We ain't giving them no credit. You ain't getting no credit for hand-me-down belts. You ain't taking no fights. Half of these fighters be avoiding the big fights, and that ain't they fault. I ain't saying Muratalla avoided the big fight. He's young and hungry. He's probably looking for the big fight, but he didn't get no big fight. When Crawford just abandons the division or Devin abandons the division, so these guys next up get handed a belt. You're not really a champion. That's why we can't be given somebody like Stan Jonas or who got the belts when Devin sent mail to everybody. I can't even remember. Loma,
I mean, Tank got
Tank,
mail.
Loma,
Shakur fought for an interim. Keyshawn, Baranchek fought for an interim. Everybody got a free belt.
Yeah, so Navarrete and that guy, no, they're not champions. You don't get to beat them and really call yourself a champion. Keyshawn's no champion.
But
he's
Cliff,
a champion, but he's not a champion.
But Cliff,
you
don't think that
real
Cliff, that's unfair, man. Like, and Navarrete is a 3-division world champ. So he fought for vacant versus Dennis Baranchek. Dennis Baranchek beat a 3-time champ, and you saying he's not a champ. That's crazy unfair.
No, let me tell you why. He fought Navarrete coming up to 35, and Navarrete didn't win. He won no fights at 35. He wasn't ready for that division.
But that's part of that's part of being a super champion. No, that's what you're doing. You discrediting how he got the shot. He only got the shot because of all his title defenses and being a super champion, being a multi-division WBO champion.
no disrespect to Navarrete, but the fact that he didn't do nothing at 35 and he couldn't hold his weight at 35, I
My
can't make
bro.
Baranchek
So
to
is
be somebody. Like he's
Oshaki a real
nobody.
fighter? Is Oshaki a real champion to you?
Yes,
Well,
because
that's
he's
the same
defended
thing.
at
Nope,
30.
nope, that's the same thing. That's the same
He just
thing.
beat Conci. He lost to Conceição, then he beat Conceição.
Yeah, but
Who
how
he
he get
fight
the
since
belt? How
then?
he get the belt, champ? Don't yell and argue if you don't know. How
I
he
ain't
get the
yelling.
belt? Remember,
I can't remember,
he
but I've
fought
been
Ray
watching. I
Vargas.
just can't remember.
He fought Ray Vargas for
Oh yeah,
vacant.
but he's defended since. Now that's why Boots is now considered a true champion, because once you do inherit the email belt and then you defend it versus the number one contender, now you're solidified. Just like you said to start off the show. If you don't defend it, you're not a champion. So yes, you inherited email
No,
wise,
I ain't
but
say
you
that.
need
I
to
said that's an
defend it.
unwritten rule. I ain't say that. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you
nobody
said it's
to
an
say.
unwritten rule, and it's unwritten for a good reason, because you defend it. Now we respect you. You can't just inherit that email and walk around like you somebody. All the
I hear
great
you.
fighters don't want that. They don't want that email to status.
I hear you, champ. I hear you. We just gotta be fairs, man. We gotta be fair, you know. If a dude fights for if he fights a 3-division champ for his belt, bruh, how we not gonna call that man a champ? And he won. You know what I'm saying? You ain't beat some other dude that was a top contender that made it to the number one position. You beat a champion that was placed in the number one position for being a dominant champion at the division below. I got Jeremy, $10, salute. He says, I'm sold on Cruz. Oh, excuse me, I'm not sold on Cruz yet. I personally like the other young Cuban, Jadir Herrera, a.k.a. No Bebe. I hate he with Queensberry. His style and energy would sell to the casuals. Young YN crowd. Yeah, man. They got to get him some fights. Listen, maybe they throw him in with Brandon. What's that kid named Brandon Lee that they signed to Queensberry, ain't really done nothing with yet. You know, phone lines are open if you want to call in. Chad, Canada, what it do?
Yes. Can
Chad.
you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I really like the last two calls from Vega and Cliff. You know, like sometimes guys get a path of least resistance to the belt to become a champion, you know. But I think you're right, Ness. Like when they're a champion, when you have that belt, you're a champion. However, defending it, keeping it is a whole other thing. And that's what's going to make a great champion versus someone that's going to be forgotten to time. Like, we can give Baranchik credit, but he'll be forgotten as a champion. You know, he'll be a side note. A great champion will defend and make a legacy out of it. I do feel like Oshaki, he's defended. He hasn't looked great in his defenses yet, but he's still managed to hold on to that belt. So hopefully he'll continue. I like Oshaki. But yeah, as far as Murataya goes, I really agree. I got to say, like, whatever, if we can't agree on certain things, I like the fact that fans want their champions to be gritty. They want their champions to defend. This is what I want to hear from fans. The last two calls were great in my mind. Like, to me, we don't hear enough about that from the fans anymore. If anything, it's people talking down on titles and talking down on champions. I agree with those guys. We want real champions, and we want them to defend. As far as it goes with Murataya, I agree with it.
But wait, Cliff was on the opposite side of Alex's call. Like, Cliff is saying that fucking, you know, Keyshawn and Baranchik aren't champions because Baranchik wasn't a champion, didn't do nothing at 35, didn't defend, and now Arete wasn't a champion at 35, and it was a vacant title. So, you know, I don't think they're on the same page at all.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood, because I don't agree with that. Like I said, like, there's different paths to get to the title, and you can't fault the fighters, you know? Like, you can't fault them. They can only do what they can do, and they'll take the opportunities as they appear in front of them. Yeah, I don't agree with that. But I just want to say with Murataya, I do feel like because he hadn't actually fought as the interim champion, just handing him the belt, I don't agree with it at all. I think one thing they could have done was gone down the rankings and found a challenger for Murataya. The problem is, to get that interim strap, Murataya fought a guy ranked, like Abdulayev is ranked very low in the rankings. I think he's bottom 30% of the rankings, like from the top 15. So that to me says that he should have had to challenge, they should have left the belt vacant.
That's the
Sorry.
bell, my friend. Do appreciate you. Cliff with the counter. What up? Round uno.
What's up, Ness? Did you miss me? What's up, bro? How you doing?
Chilling, man. You
How's
up
the
to
mic
speed
sound?
or what?
All right?
You know what we talking about? You ready to rock, or should I take a call while you set up?
What you mean? We ready to rock and roll? I've been listening to the show.
All right, do your thing then. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, I like that Murataya was upgraded, and I want this little image that we gotta keep calling disrespecting these guys email champions. These are the deserving champions, and sometimes, in situations you should be awarded. Tank Davis made that famous one-liner to Tank Davis, and everybody thinks that he was the actual first guy that ever got an email belt, and that can't be further from the truth. These are situations that happen in boxing and rightfully deserving. In some cases, it's suspect. Some cases, yes, Murataya should be upgraded. If Vasiliy retires, he's the number one guy. He won the match to become the interim. Why not? And as far as becoming an official world champion, yes, I'm on the line. He has to fight a living body. He has to win a fight against a living body, and he kind of seals that, and then rightfully so defend it. Um, I don't have no argument with that as far as it goes, and as far as Lomachenko's career, and I'm also tired of everybody nitpicking. Give these guys a break. They were professional. They gave it their all, and we loved them all for their individual qualities, or we hated them for their individual qualities. Whatever you want, you still tuned in and watch, and I hope you're still a fan of boxing.
All right, Cliff, I'm going to you. I got a couple polls I want to get out there. Loma's gone. Murataya's IBF champ. Who wins the Cruz Mishiro eliminator to challenge him? Who do you got? Cruz Mishiro. Andy Cruz, the two-time gold medalist?
Yeah, I mean, that the Cuban style. Let's just be honest. I'm gonna speak truth right now, not with just the names. It seems like it gets up there, and then, some of them are good, some don't pan out. I'm a little nervous right now for Andy Cruz. Is he everything they're talking him up to be? And that's what I think this fight represents for me. Like, he gets by this right now, and now we're talking. I mean, come on, for God's sake, look how many fights he has as a pro. Like, you want me to have that much faith in him just because of the eye test, because he beat up on some of these guys? I really don't know. And I'm on the line with, just because I'm uncertain, I'll give it a 50-50 fight, but not in the spirit of, their styles, just because of the uncertain for me.
All right. Let's see. Here on YouTube, I got a poll. And on this one, can Raymond Muratalla hold the IBF lightweight title for multiple defenses? 43% say yes, he's a dominant champ. 40% say maybe, depends on the opponent. 13, no, Andy Cruz will dethrone him. 4% say no, he'll vacate for 140. Cliff, Connecticut, counter.
You got mail. Yo, y'all, yeah. Let me show you the contradictions in y'all scenario. My boy said we gotta stop this. Yeah, that's that old school. You gotta be born in the 80s and 90s to remember that sound. Yeah, my boys around one like, yeah, man, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this. But I don't hold it against y'all or whatever he said about whatever, however he phrased it. But he's like, yeah, man, you do gotta defend it. More or less, that's what he said. Like, you gotta fight somebody after you get it or some shit. Well, that's the same thing. Like, and that's the same for you. You say, oh, you gotta give him the credit to get the belt, but then he's like, yo, it's a sorry ass 135 without Keyshawn and Loma. I don't know what's going on here. So it's just like, come on, man, make it make sense. Listen,
Well,
135 isn't sorry. It's actually a really good division. It has a lot. It's littered with a bunch of young talent. But these guys that are being champions, because there's only two champions at 35 right now, and we know who they are. These other guys that's becoming champions, it's by default. And it's funny this 1% thing that only 1% of the people get to become champion, but then we get these hand me downs and we want to put them in that small percentage of fighters. But I ain't gonna. I just want to talk about how much talent is in 35. I don't care who's champion, who's not. We got still got Tevin Farmer. We still got Schofield. We got Andy Cruz, and he's gonna win this week. Uh, round one, so he's gonna pass your test. We still got him. Still got Shakur. We still got Tank. We still got Roach now.
Dula Mason.
We got Dula Mason. Like, it's talent all over the place in 35. It's just young and unproven. Muratalla. I'm missing people. There's more people in this
Lucas
division. It's a
Body.
really good division. Nah, I ain't gonna tell you. He's all right,
Sam
but
Notes.
he's saying that. But the division is still really, really good. We still got a good 8 young fighters that we don't even know the pecking order, and then we got a couple other dudes that's in there. I like the division. I'm excited to see how it turns out and who takes that next steps to become the man. Because the only two champions in the division, are old and certified. So it's gonna be interesting to see if Carmel, if he's a 35 pounder. I don't even really know where he stands, but
40,
Carmel and
47.
Dula and all them guys, it's gonna be interesting to see where they set up at in this and how the pecking order shapes out now that the old is out and we're in with the new. Um, yeah, that's really what I really call back to say is 35 is still lit. Like, don't sleep. That's
Mhm.
it though.
All right. I don't know if Camille Moen will ever fight in 35 again. That boy looks to be getting bigger with every day. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? But the only pushback I got from that was, no, there's 3 champions at 135 pounds. We're gonna have to respect Murataya. We're gonna have to respect Murataya, whether or not Abdullah Mason steps up and fights him, or does this change Keyshawn Davis's mind now that he doesn't have to pay new sanctioning body for a belt because he don't got one? He could just win the IBF. I don't know. Does he move up? But yeah, the 135 does, still have his who's who of faces. Your Frank Martin, your Dula Masons, your Andy Cruz.
Martin is at 40. But
He's at 40
remember,
now?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
remember Shakur is WBC, Tank is WBA, Murataya is IBF, WBO is now vacant.
vacant, right? And then it's not determined who's gonna fight for that yet, right?
Should be Mason and Sam Noakes, unless they
Should
pull
be,
some bull. I
should
seen
be.
the WBO president put out like a 5-page letter today
Hmm.
talking about how the process is supposed to go. So I didn't read any of his tweets. It just gave me setup vibes.
Set
Like
up
if
vibes, right?
it felt like it had I read what he put out, I would be getting some sort of win that he's given someone a window of opportunity to petition or for a committee to decide who's actually next versus 1 and 2 fucking fighting, making it simple. I promise you.
Right.
But I don't be wanting to read shit like that because when these dudes can't stick to the script, it feels so negative. So I just like try to ignore it. And I know that's not the way because the problem still exists. But bro, it's just wild to me.
Isn't Jaleel Heron in the WBO ranking?
You mean Jamal Heron, but he's
I mean
not.
Jamal Heron. Jamal Heron.
He's not active enough to be in the rankings, let alone photo-ranked fighter. Shout out to him. He did get a win on the DeBella card, but he shouldn't be ranked.
All right.
Bandalorian, what up?
Man, you better not be what you call it, trying to figure that WBO situation out. As soon as you have your boy Gustavo back on here and you ask him about it, he gonna go full lawyer mode on you again.
Oh yeah.
You know he's good at what he do. What you call it? I remember when you said it before, like a couple of days back. I don't see no way that they don't make Sam lose. Because remember, how you were talking to Cliff that first time. Sam Notes, remember, he was the one who was supposed to fight Barincic, but because of that super status, that's why Navarrete was able to skip up. So yeah, like you said before, a couple of days, what you call it? Frank Warren ain't gonna let his man keep getting skipped up like that. And then too, like Gustavo keeps saying, all that top 15 competition. I don't think, honestly, listen, I don't think they could put nobody but 1 and 2, because what's called Nakathila, he was number 14, and like you said, I think it was Reese Edwards or something like that. It was somebody they was like the same thing. Say Sam Noakes fought somebody ranked like number 14 or 15 last year or something like that. So they just been doing them little filler fights till they get his shot rather. My bad, I'm tripping. But yeah, I don't even think Herrera, I don't think Yadier Herrera, I don't think of course Gabe Flores, ain't none of them. I don't think none of them could get a shot. Because I was looking up all their resumes yesterday. Ain't none of them fought no live bodies yet, really, except for I guess you could say Abdullah Witt, Nakathila, and then Yohan Vasquez, and then Sam No. So I don't know. We gonna see how it play out, but hey, I'm kind of like round one this. And what I think it was H-Town or whoever that was, the very first call, I can't remember. Man, I would not be surprised. I don't know too long. I ain't gonna lie. That IBF calls, I think that's a motherfucker for Raymond Muratalla and for Abdullah Mason. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Ring just said the hell with that and they make them two fight. Because Abdullah is, I think, number 15 or something in the IBF. That's what I said. I think Jay Prince and Eddie Hearn gonna have to get on the phone and kind of figure some things out, because Robert Garcia himself, he said they want to fight Shakur. And I mean, hey, now they got something to bring to the table, because remember Eddie said they wanted $3 million. That's at the least $2 million. You know, if Shakur continue working with them and he could get a deal with Turkey or something like that, you know, they could probably get Raymond Muratalla at least $2 million or something like that. You know, so we'll just have to see. But I think that's what should happen next. Shit, if everybody wanted Muratalla and Keyshawn to fight, I don't see why they should want Muratalla to fight Shakur now. Go ahead and make it happen once Shakur get past the payday. You know, they can fight in December. Because, you know, Shakur, you going to need a little time off or whatnot. You could have had them 2 fights or them 2 quick turnarounds. But I genuinely wouldn't be surprised, man, if they end up having Abdullah and Ray Muratalla end up fighting. So I'm kind of curious and eager to see how this all turn out. I think it is kind of good, though. I feel like he gave Shakur a big lob, you know, so it's on Shakur to just kind of dunk it, because the division real deal top heavy. We don't know what Tank doing, so we gonna see how it all play out, man. But I don't know. I'm hyped, so.
Yo, I wanted to ask the chat a question, and I want to see what do you guys think about this. Now, Abdullah Mason has fought and made quick turnarounds in the past quite a few times, right? Abdullah Mason took very, very little damage in this fight right here. What if they say Abdullah Mason versus Edwin De Los Santos? De Los Santos just went through a training camp. Give Abdullah a few more months. Edwin De Los Santos fights him for the vacant WBO. You don't think they would maybe try something like that? Abdullah's made a turnaround less than a month. He was back in the ring.
Yeah, man, I would say you're part of the problem.
I'm suggesting that you don't think maybe, I'm not saying they should do that. I'm asking the chat a question.
I wouldn't put that in the universe, man. I'm tired of De Los Santos getting title shots off of losses. I'm tired of any fighter.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, any fighter. How do you deserve a that's like William Skull.
Because he just didn't get it. So I thought that maybe.
Again, he didn't deserve it. So it's like, does William Skull deserve to fight Carlos Adames for a title because he lost to Canelo. Like
no.
we are so conditioned to give ourselves dog shit. It's just crazy. Like look, that's what you recommend.
Wow, you're really
Fucking
shooting this
Treese,
down, huh?
fucking Treese came on here for months recommending Pacquiao. Now this old motherfucker's back in a title shot that he don't deserve. We forced to say
Wow.
shit
Well,
like, oh well, George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins. I mean, we gotta give him an opportunity. Like, bruh, fuck that shit, man. Go earn your title, man. This
well,
shit is
to the rest
crazy.
of the
Loma got
chat,
a title shot that he didn't deserve versus
they
Cambosis. Like, everybody
yeah.
getting title shots they don't deserve because the names and the networks want names. This shit is aggravating.
George
AC, what up?
Camboza didn't deserve one against Richard Hitchison neither.
My point exactly, bro. We got to keep that same energy. We got to stop,
Yo, you
bro.
can hear me?
Yeah, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm in the country and shit, so if I break up, let me know, man. And if I go over, run me for a counter, because I want to touch on the Lomachenko shit, man. But I did want to talk about what they was talking, the last couple callers been talking about with the titles and stuff like that, man. Because, like, bro, I'm like 32, 33. Like, I've been watching boxing since 96, you know what I mean? So I've been seeing a lot of fighters. And it's like in the past, like, 10 years or so, fans and fighters in general have like rewarded clout chasing, man, and I don't really understand it. Like, it's like the level of discernment that people have is like gone, and there's no context with shit. You know what I mean? Because like I don't really agree with the Baranchek Keyshawn thing, because like Navarrete actually has good wins in his career. Like even though he won vacant belts, he actually defended it and beat top fighters. You know what I'm saying, along the road. But like, it's a lot of like I'll name the three welterweight champions right now: Boots, Brian Norman, and Barrios. Technically, all three of them dudes got elevated. Well, not really, but all them situations aren't the same. Like, Barrios won an interim belt and went into hiding until he got elevated, and still went into hiding again, fighting dudes who wasn't even top 10 until he could finesse a Pacquiao fight for a check. Like, Boots, he did unify versus Stanionis, which solidified him, but the man could have fought Bud Crawford for the belts. Everybody remember that video of Bud Crawford FaceTiming that man and showing that boy Boots was capping. You know what I'm saying? Brian Norman fought Giovanni Santillan. Giovanni was the dude who got elevated. He actually beat a dude for a belt. Like, them situations are not the same. Like, it's a difference between Devin Haney and Lomachenko, where Lomachenko flat out said, "Hey, bro, I wasn't gonna fight you. The only reason I did was because you had all the belts." He dropped his belt. Like, it's a difference between that and dudes who be sitting around literally waiting, not trying to fight the real champion, waiting till they can get like elevated for the dude to drop the belt and move up or something like that. Like, a lot, and like fans encourage this type of shit too. Like, Ness, you be doing this shit sometimes, man. Encouraging dudes to wait until a guy drops a title by moving up in weight or some shit, so they can finesse a vacant shot versus somebody that nobody knows, that's not in the top 10, and call themselves a champion. Or guys who win interim titles versus nobodies. Choose not to fight the champion, sit around ducking the actual champion until the champion moves up or something like that. Like, it's a lot of guys who are doing that in boxing right now. Like, and these dudes be getting credit like they some real champions. It's not the same. But and like I said, I heard the clapper. If I go over, man, run me for a counter, because I do want to touch on the Lomachenko shit. But it's like the level of discernment that people have is like lower. And I don't understand why. Because like a lot of these folks, a lot of y'all is my age or older. So we've seen these eras of boxing greats. When did they do shit like this? Like, dudes used to fight. Like, I'll even mention a dude like Zab Judah, who's a lower tier Hall of Famer, and look at his resume. That shit is night and day compared to these guys. It's like, these dudes barely be taking halfway decent fights and shit, and we supposed to act like they stars and shit and be like, "Oh, he's a champion." And shit ain't the same. Now, as far as Lomachenko, man, I'm not gonna flex. I've been rocking with Loma since he turned pro. You know what I mean? Like, Loma is really the example of what a fan should want their fighter to be. Like, the man fought Salido in his second fight, who was a proven established champion, who's beaten a lot of top dudes and fought a lot of top dudes. Motherfuckers think I don't think he won, but it's people who think he beat Salido. Motherfucker Salido had to blow weight and come in overweight to try to beat a dude in the second fight. Like, the man done fought Gary Russell. He fought Rigo. He's fought Majera. He fought Nicholas Walters. Like, he moved up to 135 and lost to Devin and T.O. I don't think so personally, but it's people who think he beat both of them dudes, Devin and T.O. Like, Lomachenko is what you would want your fighter to actually be. Like, people try to discredit him and say, what did he do? Who did he beat? You know what I mean? And hype up a lot of these other dudes. And it's like, bro, I'll name some fighters, man. The supposed four kings. He fought two of them, and people think he beat both of them. He beat two of Devin's best wins. He beat two of T.O. best wins. He beat Tank best win. He beat one of Ryan best wins and Leo Santa Cruz. Like I said, he beat Gary Russell and Rigondeaux, dudes who were notoriously ducked by so many top fighters. I mean, y'all be talking about Leo Santa Cruz as a 4 division champion. Man, we seen Gary Russell punk that man out. Who fought Gary Russell? That was Lomachenko. We seen Rigondeaux chase, and like, I ain't gonna lie, I was happy when Loma whooped Rigondeaux, man, because that old school Cuban style was boring as shit, man. I was mad as fuck when he beat that man, when he broke that man Donaire orbital bone. But you got to give him respect for that shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he done beat all these dudes. He done ran through 3 divisions. Loma himself was a dude who was notoriously ducked. You know what I'm saying? The man went on the street, making elite top-rated champions quit on their stool, back to back to back to back to back. Like, we can barely get half of these dudes to fight one elite top-rated champion in a 5-year span. Like, I don't really understand it, man. Like, y'all really got to become fans of the sport, man. Get off this groupie shit that y'all be on, bro. Like, it's cool to like fighters and be fans of fighters, but you can't disrespect dudes who really stepping just because a nigga that you like is not stepping. Especially if a dude that you like is scared of the nigga who is stepping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy as hell. How you gonna bash a nigga for losing to somebody that you scared to fight, and you wouldn't fight neither one of the dudes? You know what I'm saying? I lose to Bud Crawford, but I won't even fight Bud Crawford. It's crazy. But yo, shout out to y'all, man, and I'm gonna hit you on the cash app with the counter, bro.
Champ, right. Use Zelle. Cash App is no more. Use Zelle. Use Zelle. Use Zelle. Jay Billy. Been a long time.
Yo.
What up?
Audio.
What up?
Straight.
Yes, shout out, Ness, shout out around in that mofo work. But yeah, it's been a long time, but you know, I'm always listening in, even if I can't call you, I'm always listening. Great interviews this past week and a half. But first thing I want to do with Loma, man, we just got to give him his flowers. You know, if this really the end, we just got to say thanks, man. Thanks for putting out everything that you put out, because it was a time span that it was really, besides Canelo, he was really holding his boxing shit on his back with bringing in casuals, making the sport fun, making the sport watchable. So, you know, we just got to give our thanks to Loma. We appreciate you for putting everything on the line. Yeah, we can say he didn't fight this person and that person, but he did give us big fights, so we can't be mad at it. So appreciate Loma. At the end of the day, that man's a great first ballot Hall of Fame. So now the Murataya. It's time for Top Rank. They're going to have to really clutch up now, because a lot of their main guys that they've been babysitting going to have to step up and fight now. Murataya. So who's in the IBF ranking for Murataya? Who's next up? Is it Andy? Because I'm hearing y'all talk about Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
No, number 1 and 2 is empty. Number 1 and 2 is empty, and Andy's 3.
We talking about the IBF,
okay.
And it's
yes.
Andy and Mishiro. Right. They're in the eliminator, so the winner is the mandatory right. for Murataya.
The Top Rank already know this. If it's Andy, that's gonna be an L. You know what I'm saying? So
who? I see Top Rank keeping.
That's an L for Murataya.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. He ain't on the same level as Andy. I mean, we already saw what Tevin did with Murataya. Andy can do the same thing, but better. He has more power behind him. Like, if it happens soon, it's going to be bad. I don't think Murataya is ready, but he's at the age, he's a champ now, so you can't use that excuse no more. So, you know what I'm saying? We might not think you're ready, but you got the belt now, so you got to do something about it. But, yeah, man, if it's Andy, that's going to be an L, but I see them keeping Raymond away from Andy. Y'all still got me?
Yeah, we
I'm
got
breaking
you.
up.
We got you. I'm just shocked you're
We
picking
got
to
you.
do it with 5 fights over Murataya.
Yeah, I mean, you know what we do on the eye test. You know, I'm a Morel fan. I'm a Abdullah fan, so you know I'm big on that eye
But
test.
then Morel
And I
fall
see
short.
a lot with Andy.
Then Morel fall short.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you go up against a monster, you know, shit like that happens. You feel me? But we're gonna bounce back on that soon.
That's what they say
But yeah, y'all keep
Murataya
on
is.
playing
They
that.
say
Well,
Murataya
I
is that
think
he just ain't been
Murataya is a
able to.
little bit bigger, a
They
little
say
big.
Murataya just ain't had the opportunity to show that he is who he is.
He's just
Listen,
he's just about on the same trajectory as Morel was. But I gotta head back to work, so I'm gonna tap back in if somebody say something, man. Y'all
all
keep on
right.
putting in that
All
work.
right.
Yep. I have a different perspective on that. I actually got Raymond Muratalla in that fight against Andy Cruz.
Mm.
I'm going the other way with that.
Word.
I don't think
James.
Andy
Oh,
Cruz has been
sorry.
tested yet.
Yeah, me neither, bro. I'm totally
I don't think he's been tested.
with you. Totally. I think the little bit of test that he's had, he's passed. You know, some
Yeah.
would even say he's passing with flying colors because he suffered adversity in the Moran fight and was able to come back and stop Moran. But that for me has, you know, I can't unsee it. And it's like my
You view some
antenna
people.
is
Yeah,
alert.
some people.
I'm alert.
Right. Some people see that as adversity. I see that as trouble. So
Yeah.
you know,
I got Adrian $2. Murataya versus De Los Santos soon. See what you done did? One person says it, the next person says it, and it becomes reality. We gotta stop. Our words are powerful, man. Deontay Wilder taught us, speak it, believe it, receive it. He made people believe it so much that Tunde Ajayi stole his. Some shit like, you know, speak it, believe it, achieve it. Like, bro, affirmations are real. It was here before you got here. G Geezer channel, $5. Andy gets Raymond easy. The Cuban style is starting to evolve for professional fighters. They will do better in the new Cuban era. 5 Cuban flag emojis. We got Giza Channel with another 2. He says, Elislandri Alvarez, Cuban flag emoji this weekend. 2 flex emoji in Argentina. Back with another 2. Skull William Flag, not in this era. He older. Cliff, counterpunch, JC, I think. JC, he thinks. Who the fuck was he talking about? Maybe AC. Maybe he thinks JC is AC. So AC, I think he sent you a counter. James Benitez, Atlanta, what up?
unmute the mic, James. Yo,
James
James.
Benitez. All right. Looks like James is not connecting. If you want to call in, now is the time. We're going to be having Derek Davis, a.k.a. Scooter Davis, on the show Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to ask Scooter a question, don't forget to head on over to the Patreon page or our YouTube community page where you can drop a question for Scooter, and I will certainly, you know, ask him your question, letting him know, you know, that you asked it and where you're calling in from and all that goodness. So, phone lines are open if you want to call in. Now is the time. Discord available. X Spaces also available. We got Pat Bandero.
Yo, ¿qué tal, mi gente?
Chilling.
Hey, man, just calling real quick before I go to bed. Yeah, man, I think we have to give his flower to Lomachenko, man. He came with his print on the sport of boxing, came with his own style, footwork, you know, his pivot, his angles, you know. They are legendary, and you even have like few boxers now that try to imitate him a bit, like what's his name? Bam? Is it Bam Rodriguez?
Yep.
Yeah. So man, Lomachenko is a legend, bro. And yeah, like one of the callers said, he gave tough fight to Henny and Teofimo. Apparently, he was saying that Teofimo was a bit injured, had a shoulder injury. The Teofimo. That's what I heard, but I might be wrong. But yeah, man. Lomachenko legend. So have to give his flower, no doubt, no doubt. Murataya, yeah, Murataya is like that. I think round one was right. I think the IBF, there are two spots. The first two spots technically they're empty, but next up is Andy Cruz.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you. The Andy Cruz Mishiro fight is final eliminator for the mandatory. So
For the number 1 slot.
no, for the mandatory. See? Mandatory position, not the number 1 slot. They're already fighting for a mandatory. That's the whole point of the show. The winner of that fight is the challenger to the title for Murataya.
Yeah, so they're going to number 1 spot. That's what I mean.
Oh my God. How many times does the president have to tell you that number 1 doesn't mean mandatory, and mandatory means mandatory and not number 1? How many times the presidents have to say this out loud? That Albert Bell was number 1 and he didn't get a title shot because number 1 doesn't mean mandatory. What is happening now? Two fighters fighting an eliminator, that is creating a mandatory. That is going to be the real mandatory challenger.
I'm with you.
Right.
Okay, I got educated right there. I appreciate it, my man. This is why I'm calling the voice of the people. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. But yeah, Murataya is like that. So yeah, Andy Cruz hasn't been tested yet. But Andy Cruz is like that too. We cannot, we cannot like diminish him. But it's true, he hasn't been tested yet. So yeah, at this stage, it's Murataya over Andy Cruz, no doubt. But yeah, man, I'm not sure if it's gonna be the face of Top Rank though, because you have obviously we have our man Mason as well, who's coming up. So there's gonna be a battle of the spot for Top Rank. But yeah, Murataya is like that. But I'm not sure about his power though. But he knocked out Nakatilia, right?
Yeah, 2 rounds, just like Tito Mercado.
So yeah, man. But as we know, styles makes fat. Styles makes fat. So fight. So But yeah, Murataya is like that. But yeah, man, just wanted to give you a shout out before I call it a day. And hablamos mañana, papi.
All
right. Thank you for calling in.
Appreciate you.
He says Murataya doesn't have a lot of knockout power, but with a record of 23-17 with a 73% knockout ratio, I say he got a little above average at least.
Hell yeah.
He
got
can hit. He can put his hands together.
He's got power without a doubt, bro. Without a doubt. James Benitez, otra vez.
Yo, what's up, Ness?
Chilling.
What's up, round one? How y'all? That's
what's
up,
up,
man. That's what's up. Yo, shout out. Ain't shit, man. Shout out my nigga AC, man. Like, I didn't know we put Hall of Famers on tiers, man, especially an undisputed one. That's crazy. Saying Zab Judah's a lower tier Hall of Famer. But, that's not what the show's about. And also, Ness, man, you definitely need to keep speaking slow to these callers so they can understand that Andy Cruz is on a different trajectory right now. He's not on the WBO path, which we all would love, but he's on the IBF path. But where would Andy Cruz rank though, man? Because he's gonna be a world champion after 7 fights. Is he gonna possibly be one of the? He's definitely gonna be a future Hall of Famer. He does that. Is
Andy
that correct?
Cruz is
Because
number
we
1
already
for the
discussed.
WBC.
Yeah, but he's going to line to fight Raymond Muratalla. Am I correct?
No, he's
And he's definitely
Shakur Stevenson's number 1. And then he's
he's
number 3,
Shakur
but
Stevenson's
we are
number one.
like Ness eloquently said, yes, he's in the schedule to fight for the title eliminator to be the number 1, but he will be number 1 to
For what?
Shakur's and the mandatory to Murataya.
So he's gonna fight. So he's more than likely gonna get the
I
mandatory
don't know
fight
what
with
phone
Murataya.
call he'll get.
So
I can't
so
predict that.
I'm just saying. So if just because you got a number 1 position doesn't mean more than likely when you get that mandatory spot, I think it's more likely you're gonna get that fight. You know, because we see people in position like Sam Noakes. Like who the fuck is he? You know what I'm saying? He just fought an 8-round bout and everything like that. And nobody cares to see him. Like me personally, like with my higher brethren, like Toledo Tree, shout out to him. I think the WBO been doing them so wrong that we should get Andy Mason. I mean that we should get Abdullah Mason and get fuck man. What's that nigga name, man? That tall nigga, man, from goddamn Ohio, from Toledo. I can't even think of his name now. I
Albert
got threw off.
Bell.
But that Albert Bell, yeah, Albert Bell. Albert Bell should get his just due. Albert Bell should finally get his just due. You know what I'm saying? He should get his just due and get a vacant title shot for the
Where's the
WBO belt and
scratch to
everything.
the
But
record?
huh? What you mean scratch to the record, man? Like we know that he been getting fucked over every division. Like he got passed up by so many people. He's like notably one of the most dug fighters in boxing. We know that, but he's just not popular. He has a big name behind him, or none of that shit. No branding behind him. But it is what it is. We're more than likely going to probably see like Abdullah Mason versus Abzaur Abdullaev or some shit like that, maybe. Which I think that's more realistically of a fight to possibly happen for the vacant title because nobody in the states really want to see Sam Noakes. Like, keep this shit real. You can talk about Sam Noakes having a over 80% KO record, but against who? We don't know him on this side of the pond. You know, we're not checking for him. And also, with that being said, bro, we've been knowing Lomachenko been retired since like November of last year. This shit's not a big deal. We've been knowing Raymond Muratalla was going to be the champ. He's only the champ because he got a
Yeah,
top
but
rank
there was
behind him.
people holding
Kevin
it back.
Farmer.
There was people holding out hope that Loma was coming back and gonna fight Tank. Like, what are you talking about? We've been knowing.
Thank you. I mean, we've been knowing, bro. We've been knowing, man. I mean, I've been knowing, but you know, I never doubted myself on this call right here. But with that being said, though, man, shout out to Lomachenko's career. Shout out to Raymond Muratalla. He's going to lose his belt when he fights Andy Cruz, and then we're going to have to talk about the legend of Andy Cruz, how much better he is overall than Keyshawn Davis. Shout out to you. Shout out to the community as always. Peace.
All
All
right,
right, all
champ.
right, all right.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate the call. And as far as mandatory spots, look, I've been watching boxing for a little while. And just recently, I watched the IBF mandatory, Subir Matias, the mandatory to Richard Hitchison's belt. Another opponent snuck in and they said that he had a voluntary, okay? And then now, look and behold, he got a phone call from the WBC. So I'm not going to always say that the mandatory situation always works out or you don't get another opportunity just as great. So I just stand in the wait to see who it will be. But if it's Andy Cruz and still Murataya.
Well, phone lines are open. If you want to call in, we got Tyron on the check-in. What up?
Yo, what's good, Nez?
What up?
What's good, round one?
What's good, man?
Shouts out TBV, man. Hope everyone blessed tuning in. And shouts out to Lomachenko. Legendary career. I definitely wish I would have seen he would have came back for a Tank fight. But I'm not mad. You know, it was a special talent, rare in the sport of boxing that we seen. Had some tough decisions, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons that he decided to stay retired and ultimately not fight Tank, because I think he probably believed that especially the way that things has been going in his career as far as the judges' scorecards and the decision that it's like. He gave it his all. Especially you look at the Haney fight, he really, really like put it all out there. He didn't get the decision. I just felt like he was just tired. He gave the sport his all, and him coming up short, I think has a play in it. And the reason why it's not really worth my time. And I remember he was saying that he was done, but I think he wanted to get another title. I think that was the Kambosos fight for his father. So he was able to do that, which is cool. But shouts out to Lomachenko. I'm definitely a Hall of Fame fighter. Have you seen this TO? I don't want to get off topic, but just want a quick question. Have you seen the TO?
I literally just
the
seen it. You ain't
PBC?
even gotta say it because I just seen it. I sent it
Okay.
to the pre-pro. I don't know. Maybe it could
Okay,
be
cool,
tomorrow's
cool.
show. I just don't really be liking talk because the dude is just so
Right,
fakey.
no,
You don't
yeah,
know if he he do.
facts,
We every
facts.
time we talk about that said person, everybody think we he's doing everything
Exactly.
he doing for clout. So we don't know. But of course I seen it,
Yeah.
and of course I seen that he
Okay,
put a
yeah,
date
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. It's just what's real
Yeah.
at this point. What is real?
Right. But hey, yeah. So yeah, we'll just say that for her on another show. But yeah, that's just wanted to see though. But yeah, just wanted to get my 2 cents on that. Shouts out to Lomachenko, man. Legendary career, and shouts out to everybody tuning in. Hope everyone stay blessed. Peace.
Amen, champ.
All right.
Listen, if you want to call in, Discord available, X Space is available. Also, we did forget to do the raffle, so we're doing it today. I already got the names in the spinning wheel. So we're gonna do it before we're out. We'll spin the wheel live, and you'll see who won. Mozzie, I got your 25 that you sent today at 5 o'clock sometime. So you're on the list. Bomb Squad! If you want to try and win that PS5 for $25, this is a value you won't find anywhere but TBV. We just want to make sure you keep coming back, man. Keep coming back, hitting the thumbs up, hitting the subscribe. If you're watching this on X Live video, you also can partake in the raffle by buying a $25 virtual raffle ticket. Right now we can only use the Zelle. Cash App is down, but hey, use the Zelle, be part of it for $25. Now, if not, hit that repost, retweet anyway, because I need some of that love. I don't got 1 million subscribers because y'all ain't share my shit. It's really just that simple. Have you shared it today? You probably like, man, I've shared it before, but not every day. You never know. The day that you share it, you put it in the eyes of the right person. What if one day you put in the eyes of Joe Rogan, then he want me on his show? Or he offered me a spot in his studio and I got to relocate to Houston or wherever he's at in Texas, man. Come on, speak it into the universe. AC, what up?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear me? Yeah, man. Shout out to buddy who sent me the counterpunch, man. Also, I'm pulling over now, so I'm gonna send you mine in like the next 10 minutes. But I did also want to talk about the 135 division, man. That got to do with the Murataya stuff. Because personally, man, I don't think if he fights, what's my man Andy Cruz, I don't think he's gonna beat Andy. We need unification fights this year, bro. Like Lomachenko, man, respect to him, but we already knew he only fought Kambosos, man, to try for a title. He said that before the fight. The man had been talking about retiring. And we also know that boy Tank ain't really trying to get no squabble with nobody for real. So the rest of these dudes, man, it's y'all time, bro, to make a name, man. These dudes need to get in the mix. I personally been asking on the Discord, do we think Shakur could get unification fights with Mason or Andy Cruz this year? Because I feel like, man, we need to put Mason in with Sam Noakes, let them boys get it in for that WBO belt. Put Murataya in with Andy Cruz. I'm pretty sure Andy Cruz gonna whoop that man. And then, hey man, y'all folks mix it up, bro. Y'all mix it up, man. For real. It's too much stalling and shit. And like it's not the division is like in a transition period. A lot of these dudes have retired, moved up in weight, you know what I mean? So a lot of these dudes is making their name now. You know what I mean? So shit, this is the opportunity, bro, for somebody to take over for real, for real. You see Tank, he talking about fucking Jake Paul fights and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I feel like that really needs to be what we put in the air, man. Unification fights, man. Murataya versus Andy Cruz, Mason versus Sam Noakes, man. And then all the three champions outside of the WBA champ, man, they need to mix it up for real, for real. That's how I feel like, but that's just me. But y'all think that's possible?
I mean, we want to hope these champions mix it up, but you know how that go.
I mean, we gotta talk that shit into the
Listen,
air,
man,
man. We can't be
it's
promoting
all
these
up
folks
to
to just
Tank. At
because
the end of the day, he is the biggest name. Everybody wants to fight him. He sends an offer, they say yes. He sent Shakur an offer, we got a unification. He sent Murataya an offer, we got a unification. You know, whoever eventually gets the
But C-Mac,
WBO, he sends them an offer, we got a unification. Like, people willing to take 1.5 million to fight Tank because of the exposure. We seen that with Frank.
well, I mean, I really don't expect Tank to really mix it up with them guys. That's why I ain't really include him. But I feel like we need to promote guys
It's
to
gonna be
become their
hard. It's
own
gonna be
name,
hard then to
not
get.
chasing them.
It's gonna be hard then to get Top Rank to let Murataya fight Shakur, cause they know they might lose their
I
belt to
guess
Shakur.
I think it's on the fighters, man. The fighters got to be willing to fight, man, and we can't get them passes to not fight. You got to be willing to fight. But all right, man.
All right, champ. Huang, Houston.
Yo, yo, yo.
What up, Huang?
What's
Well,
up?
you know what, man? Can you hear me good?
You sound like you a little bit far, but we used to that from you. What up?
All right, let me bring the laptop closer. My bad, I'm cooking some eggs. Nah, man, I just, since we got the Loma announcement, I gotta call in for that, to show my appreciation for Loma for what he done for us. I'll be honest, I've been a Loma hater for a while, you know what I'm saying? But I still appreciate him. Only reason I became a Loma hater was the whole Devin Haney thing when he didn't want to fight him for the WBC, so Dev can get undisputed back then. That's when I became a Loma hater before I wasn't so much a Loma hater. But you know what, man? When they bow out and you got to show them they love. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them their props. All the good shows they put on for us, the great fights they brought to us. He's a legend, and he deserves his props, man. So shout out to Loma. You know what? Has Loma ever gave you an interview?
Yeah, in person when I chased his ass down to Mexico for asking for that nasty franchise status to duck Devin Haney.
Oh man, what do you say to you, man?
He's a good little fighter. Everybody had the good little fighter attitude. Like Dev was too young to fight him. Even Mauricio, everybody, Moretti, Carl Moretti, everybody wrote it off as Devin is too young for the opportunity he's asking for, even though he's in the number one and mandatory position. So for them,
we became.
For them, it was okay to let Loma get franchised to do whatever he did versus fighting a young Devin Haney that needed to quote unquote develop more.
Yeah, well, it came back to bite him in the ass, huh? You know what? That's karma, man. That's what you get for trying to deny a man shine. You never gonna get that specific shine. He wanted to be undisputed, right? Try to, deny a man. He probably, I'm gonna tell you like this. I bet you Loma would have beat him back then.
Well, that was the karma, right? Like all these Loma fans that want you to believe that Loma won that fight, he didn't officially get the win in the eyes of the judges, and he retired never being undisputed. He cried in the locker room. It wasn't because he was robbed. He cried because he tried again at achieving undisputed, and he couldn't. And some might say that that was karma for avoiding the young Devin Haney, giving an illegitimate excuse that he was too young to challenge you, then having to circle back because he was undisputed and your only opportunity at the dream you couldn't succeed.
Yeah, that was his shot. I'm telling you, if he would have fought Devin Haney, because I really believe Dev wasn't as dangerous at that time. If he would have fought Dev right there, I bet you he would have been undisputed. But that go to show you, it ain't never good to duck. You know what I'm saying? Fight who you're supposed to fight when you're supposed to fight him. But in the end, man, shout out to Loma, man, because I appreciate people like him, man, that come over here and put on entertainment for us, man. I really don't, outside of that Dev stuff, I really don't have too much negative to say about him, except for that time he fought Richard Coleman, man. I ain't like the way he was showboating on him, talking about, like, man, looking at, what was he doing? Looking at the corners and everybody, like, get this man out of here. Like, why y'all ain't stopping the fight? That's the only other time. But other than that, shout out to Loma, man. We appreciate you for all you gave to us TBV fans. Man, we appreciate that, man. Shout out. Salute, Lomachenko. That's all I got, Ness. Let me get to these fried eggs, man. TBV, like and subscribe.
I mean, you guys seen him crying after losing to Devin in the locker room, right? Or did I make that up? Was that the wrong? Do I got the wrong fight? He was crying in the locker room, no?
Nah, yeah, but I mean, he gave it his all. That's in
Yeah.
competition.
But
When
that's what I'm saying. That was your dream, to be undisputed. The whole reason you fought Devin was because you wanted to be undisputed. He literally said it out his mouth. He
and
didn't
Devin gave
achieve
him
it.
something you never gave me, a shot at titles.
And he didn't achieve it, so he cried because that was his lifetime goal. Like, these people in the chat, like, what is he talking about? Bro, like, that's totally the truth. That's totally the
Yeah.
truth. That man didn't cry because of anything else other than, holy shit, this was my last opportunity at doing this. Like, in order for him to undispute again, he's got to go take every belt, and that's why he retired. That's a lot of work at this age.
Yeah.
I mean, to assume that he wasn't crying because he couldn't get the win is ridiculous. Look at Nathan. He cried because he felt he got robbed. No, he cried because karma kicked his ass. Karma told him, you see, you should have fought that young man when you were supposed to because he was green. You let him get that experience and that size on you and he beat you.
Should have fought him then.
Yo, Nash.
Yo.
Round one. All right. Hey, shout out Lomachenko, Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? When I first started boxing, he was one of the guys who I studied, but couldn't really quite get with it. Now I just study all the old school fighters and use them. But shout out to Lomachenko, man. He had a great career, great wins. He beat one of the Russell brothers. A lot of good wins, bro. A lot of great wins. Shout out to Lomachenko. But you just got to move out the way now. But shout out to him. He got paid a lot of money. He gonna go over there, help his country. Shout out Lomachenko. As far as Murataya, oh wait, hold up. Before I even let me get some slight weekend recap shit. Hey, Fabio Wardley, even though he ended up stopping Buddy, he knocked him out. Buddy was working. Buddy was in there working. He was putting some shots together, letting his hands go. Are we getting a rematch on that? Has that been confirmed? Like, was that in the contract?
No rematch talk as of now.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I'm gonna have to rewatch that. Junto Nakatani, one of their guys stopped, but he crushed up his face after 3 rounds. I think he fooled for Bam. He don't really move his head. I don't know if he got the skill set necessary. You know what I'm saying? If you stand there in front of him, you know what I'm saying, he can get with you. But I think Bam's like footwork, his jab, and you a southpaw with me might be food. But I still need to see the scrap though. You know what I'm saying? Because the left hand, you know, like that power hand is still something that we got to deal with. But shout out to Junto. And as far as Raymond Muratalla, I like Raymond Muratalla. I like the camp he with Robert Garcia. I like how his style. He definitely has power. I think he's a tough guy at 135. Like, you know what I'm saying? Lightweight, Keyshawn Davis, lightweight, outwardly publicly ducked him and just used money as the reason why. And I'm not mad
Keyshawn
at, you
Doug who?
know,
The fuck?
Keyshawn Duck Raymond saying, why would I fight him if I don't want to pay the fees? That's a valid excuse from a like money wise, but it's still like you not unifying, you ducking a champ because you don't want to. You can talk to Bob about that or talk to some other shit or do whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? But that was a little duck-ish. Maybe not full duck, but it was duck-ish. You know what I'm saying? But all right, cool. But yeah, I like Raymond. He's a good fight for everybody at 135, bro. It's a good scrap for everybody at 135. Him and Andy Cruz, it's gonna be an interesting bout. Like Andy Cruz got the like Olympic background, you know what I'm saying? But Raymond Murataya is a good pro. Like Robert Garcia, good camp man. He's got good skill sets. He's been in there with some tough guys. Tevin Farmer, like the last guy you fought, that was a good scrap. So yeah, man. Shout out Raymond. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what he does at 135. You know, hopefully, you know, they want that a Shakur Stevenson scrap. That'd be good if a Shakur can knock off William and Raymond. I will change my tune on Shakur Stevenson if he does that back to back. He probably won't, but that would change my tune. But that's my call, bro. Thank you.
That's a good way for Shakur to get popular. Fight two Mexicans back to back. You know, take that Roger Mayweather name. Was it Mayweather like the Black Executioner? Roger? Or something like that? Or the Black
Yes.
Mexican? Something like
Yes.
that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
DC.
You know.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
all right, DC $2. Nesta, quote unquote, I ran down on Loma camp at the resort. Gibbs. Laughing out loud emoji. Go to You were gonna say, champ?
Oh, well, I know how you feel on Edwin De Los Santos passing up on the opportunity to obtain a world title. So, and to you that's really big. Never pass up on the fact because that's a 1% class. Well, when Keyshawn Davis came out and publicly said I won't fight Murataya, that's him publicly admitting he's
Yeah, but he had
passing
a
up on
title.
title
He
fight.
already had a title. That's what you're
Yeah,
not getting.
well,
That's him passing up on being unified.
He's already
not
setting
being
it
a
up
world
like
champion.
I won't fight him.
Yeah, but he put himself. You choosing to hear what you want. Remember that he also said, if they want to give me the belt for free and not charge me, I'll fight him. So it's all about sanctioning fees.
Blah 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 blah. That
Oh, okay.
Keyshawn, that's not championship behavior. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's negotiation tactics. If I could say I'll fight him, but I'm not paying the fee, that means somebody else might step up and pay the fee.
Well,
Turkey
negotiable.
Turkey
Those are things we could have talked about behind the scenes rather than hearing a champion.
Why not put that out in the universe? Why not put it out in the universe? Why not be a transparent champion? That's what I liked.
Now
he
I
was
think you're
keeping it
speaking
real
for
with
him.
a homie, kept it real with me.
I heard exactly what he said.
Yeah, what he said was, I won't pay, but I would fight. That's what he said. You just choosing to stop. But last call for callers. You know what I'm saying? I just got my new Temu package. Guys, see what's up. I bought me like 20. I got a 20 pack of these black ones now. I got to see if they're going to be the same quality. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. Last call for callers. If you're trying to call in, now is the time. Right, real quick, let's shout out Z Pacino, #1 on that pound for pound chat leader board. Oh, look at Rue coming in. Hey, Rue, that's crazy you not #1 on the Loma show, but you #2. All good. Shiny suits coming in at #3. The rest, y'all ain't make the cut, man. His only gold, silver, Brizons, you feel me? So if you ain't make the cut, you ain't make the cut, man. Last call for the raffle. If you want to get in the raffle, send your 25 right now. I think I seen somebody saying they sent something. I ain't getting no notification, fam. Send those raffle via Zelle right now. Don't use the Cash App. Use the Zelle. Don't use the Cash App. Use the Zelle. Don't use the Cash App. Use the Zelle. I know y'all a little bit hard-headed, so you know. We got Demo.
Yo. I'm tapping in a little bit late, but I've been listening. I didn't get a chance to call in on the Keyshawn show, but it's kind of perfect. Shout out round one. It's kind of perfect because he said it, and I don't want to be the one that put it in the air, but he didn't already put it in the air. That's the reason why I didn't really say this shit. But you got to think, when you first made that announcement saying that De Los Santos got signed by Jay Prince, or that was a conversation, that's the first thing that come to mind, because it's like, shit, that's his fighter. He got Abdullah underneath him, so it's just like, shit, who else he signing him for? It just, to me, I feel like that just makes sense. Not saying it'll be next, but because what's the guy's name that's above Keyshawn? got it. Sam Noakes. I think it's gonna be him and Sam Noakes, and of course, Dula beat him. Then you'll have that fight right behind it. But in the meantime, they probably gonna get him a tune-up since he already in shape. They know he can take somebody else from there, and this will be a second camp for him. But yeah, I really don't want to see it. But I mean, if it happens, it happens. It seemed like Jay Prince made that move for a reason. I don't know why else he would sign him.
I
But
mean, signing De Los Santos, I get what y'all saying, but again, De Los Santos, I mean, I guess he did get ranked in that WBO to fight Keyshawn. I guess you could be right.
yeah, it's like they setting up the play because I mean, had the fight not happened with, I mean, if the fight was supposed to happen with him and Keyshawn, now Keyshawn out and he going up, I mean, shit, it just leaves it wide open. Because, I mean, maybe Abdullah would have still fought him after this anyway or something. I don't know. Maybe they had somebody else for him, but I personally, I don't want to see it. I'd rather him fight Sam Noakes and then go into defending whoever else is, in the rankings underneath that. But as far as the Loma shit, I mean, I personally, I respect his legacy. And some people say, of course, he retired too early, but you got to think he one of them guys that came in late because of the amateur background. So it's kind of like his mileage was already there from amateur miles, which of course it's way less rounds and headgear and shit like that, but it's still rounds. Like some niggas lose their shit in sparring in the gym. I done seen personal friends of mine that ain't even the same, that didn't, go far or nothing. Maybe had one pro fight, two pro fights or something like that, but they had a bunch of sparring wars and they not even the same person I know. So that's a possibility. But as far as Murataya, I don't think he gonna reign. I don't think he gonna reign long at all. I'm going through a dead spot, so I might have to call back in. Oh, that's the end of it right there anyway. So I'm gonna tap back in. Shout out to y'all.
Hey, yo,
All
you get
right.
my call. You get my vote for caller of the year.
Salute. DC3 back with another two. You remember how good Dev Loma show was after? Boxing glove emoji, crying out loud emoji. We got RRT Boxing, Mr. A, $5. No, Loma cried for sharing the ring with greatness, tears of joy. Hashtag Hardin, 3 faces in Hardin Smoke. And Darius, I did get your $25 via Zelle. Drop a bomb for his dubby dub. His $25 put him in the virtual raffle for the PS5. $25. You're never going to find that value. Never. Try Vasiliy. What up? Today's the last day. After the last caller, we doing the raffle. Get in where you fit in. Only send the money to the Zelle. Try Vasiliy. What up?
What it do?
Well, what up, round one? I didn't know you were still here. Cool. All right. Yeah, I was thinking, as far as Lomachenko's legacy, I think something that really kind of burned, like something that we never got, and I'm sure somebody already brought up this subject, but I'm not sure. Is the fight that we never got, and between him and Mikey Garcia. Why do you think that never happened?
Mikey wanted out of the Top Rank contract. You know that. And when he got out, all he got were bigger fights. Way bigger fights. He left, got a Robert Easter fight. Well, he became multiple-time champion once he left. He got the Zlatacanin fight at 35. He got the Easter fight. He got the Broner fight. He got the fucking Earl fight. Then he got a $7 million Jesse Vargas fight. Another $7 million Sandor Martin fight. Man, that dude retired fat, boy. You don't be seeing him interviews? He looked fat. He chilling.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. And the Errol Spence fight, right? So
I said Earl, but yeah.
I didn't hear you. My bad. But as far as like how do you guys feel like that fight would have went as far as Mikey and Loma?
Tough to say, man. You know, those angles of prime Loma were great angles, but Mikey was a dude that carried hella power late. He was like a small version of Klitschko. All his knockouts came after 8 through
For
12.
real.
You know what I'm saying? He was very patient, very poised, very composed, and very, very, very powerful. You know, he had the good basic
Yeah.
game too. He wasn't really flashy. He's 1-2 kind of guy, but he was very effective.
Mikey Garcia, Hall of Famer. Yes. Good. What
Eventually,
is that? Four division champ.
I think eventually he gets in. Yeah, he's a multiple division champ. He beat some good champions. He's attached to Earl's legacy. He'll probably get in for sure.
Got you, man. Oxnard, Boxnard. You know, that's my brethren right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
sir.
you know, what do you think, round one? You got any thoughts on this?
Well, I think eventually he'll get into the Hall of Fame. I think he's given his, he's won his fair share of fights and he has big moments. So, I'm not on the ballot, but I think he's done enough. As far as what were you? I forgot what you said in the beginning. I'm sorry.
Loma versus Mikey. What are
Loma
your
versus
thoughts on
Mikey.
that fight
That's
if it
it.
Yeah, he
happens?
That's
said
it.
his question was, why do you think it didn't happen?
Oh, why don't I think it happened? Oh, you know, I I think it's because of, like you said, Ness. You said it perfectly. He wanted out of the contract. He picked his, the fights he wanted, and I think they went on their own trajectory, their own different ways. So I couldn't really tell you about that. But if the fight happened, Ness broke it down too. I agree with that. Danny carries his power late in the round, and the one thing he was due where he was patient, and he knew when and the where, how to catch up to you. It made it take him a little bit to catch up to you, but when he did, he was pretty effective. Now, if Loma, like we know, he could dance all night, baby, and he could sit on. I can see another scenario where he'll pick them apart, go into inside cut angles, and he could have made Danny stop Danny, or I could see another version like that. It would have been an interesting fight, but I slightly have Loma favored in that fight, and I'll give the edge to Loma.
All right. Phone lines are open. El Tanque.
Yo,
What up, bro? You getting me flagged today?
shit. Hey, we are not against boxing. We are not against boxers. But we are against those thugs. Shit, that man is no longer the businessman, bro. He done fucked up the bag. He's a liability. Who's gonna want to pay this dude that can't fucking make weight and then lose money because you gotta cancel the main event? You a fucking fool. You played yourself, bro. You a sucker. That shit is weak, man. Weak. You done fucked up the bag. Now you're really gonna have motherfuckers thinking that Barbarian is really racist. Next time, behave. Be the businessman that you say you wanna be. You fucking wanna be. Yo, man, why are you fucking giving Vaquero so much credit, bro?
I mean,
Remember last year you
he's a 3 division champ. That's just bottom
I
line.
remember last year you criticized him because all his fucking titles were off of vacant shit.
Yeah, but
He
what
ain't never
happened?
really
What
be the
happened since
champion.
then? What happened since then? He kept winning,
But he
right?
ain't never really be the champion, bro.
Valdez
He's
was a
a
champion. Cut the
Yes, he
bullshit.
was.
And so was Dog Bay. He took the belt from the champion. He didn't win a vacant title. Cut the bullshit, man. It's something
man.
about
All the other shit
Vaquero
was
you don't
vacant,
like.
bro.
I don't know why you've always done
I
this
don't
with
like
Vaquero.
Vaquero. Vaquero is horrible.
I
He's
know,
a disgrace to boxing.
but
A
but
dude
but
can't make weight.
somehow
I believe he
somehow he's
fucking
been
lost
able
to
to win.
Conceição. I believe he lost
Yo,
to Conceição when they fought.
that's pretty
Bro, he got
harsh.
outworked. He got outworked by the dude that wasn't supposed to outwork him. He done lost
You
that fight. They gifted him a draw. Then he comes back and shits the bed against Branchik. And then he comes back and shits the bed again over here with the Filipino dude, bro. Like this dude is basura, b.
know,
He's a pathetic boxer, bro. I don't
can
like
I
him.
can I talk to you about that for a second? Just a quick second.
Yeah,
Look, there's another way to view him. You know what I mean? He's the type of fighter when I watch him, every time I saw him, I betted against him. And then after a while, I saw who he was. I saw that he's that guy that when we all complain, maybe I'm not that good, maybe I'm good, that man got up and made what he has a world champion, defended it, and beat multiple champions and in multiple weight divisions with those kind of skills. But you can't see him for who he is. He represents everybody that I wish I could. And you don't have to be so skillful and everything. And bro, he's like the little guy or the underdog that, man, he shocked the world every time in my eyes. Because I never thought he would be this successful. And I gotta step back and take
Man,
that at his greatness.
nah,
His
you
greatness.
tripping big time on
Bro,
that.
bro, that's not easy to do. You think you can beat Baqueto's ass, but why ain't you world champion? Why did he have
Hey,
enough balls to get up and become one with
hey,
all
the dude
that
is.
little bit of
I'm talking.
skills?
I'm comparing them to other fighters in the sport.
Hey,
He's
don't
a
compare him
fucking
to
disgrace.
nobody. That's
He's
Baqueto,
a
bro.
disgrace, bro.
A
That dude
disgrace.
is.
A multiple
That's
division
the one
world
I don't want
champion
to
is a
show my kid and be
disgrace.
like, look, be like that fucking Twinkie built motherfucker that can't
Nah,
make weight.
he just doesn't look like you
Yo, but
want him
that
to look.
Twinkie
No,
built dude is
bro,
a three division
the dude's a
champ. You're
Twinkie
crazy.
motherfucker.
But
You
Twinkie
view
and all, he's
boxing
a
one
three
way.
division champ.
In your head, a boxer
Nah, bro,
got
that
to
dude
look
is
a
a phony,
certain
bro.
way.
Vaquero is
A
a phony, bro.
phony.
He ain't no phony.
But
In your head, unless the
Vaquero is
boxer looks sharp, unless
Vaquero
he
is
looks sharp,
overrated than a
you don't like it.
motherfucker. No, I
Uh,
don't like undisciplined fighters, bro. I have an issue with those people. Like
Undisciplined.
you and
What do you
he's
mean
very
undisciplined?
undisciplined, man.
Whoa,
Vaquero,
sir. Whoa,
we're
sir.
talking about Vaquero, Sean recently, David Benavidez.
No,
Fuck these guys. Andy Reese, another fat pile of shit, bro. Like these
bro,
guys are they're horrible for the
bro.
sport.
You say undisciplined, right? Baquero's come in every single fight with no game plan. He just lets nature takes his course. He's disciplined as hell. He's the
No, you
same
man, you
fighter
tripping on
every
the Vaquero
time.
topic.
Talk about
Fuck
discipline.
that.
He never switches
H-Town.
up. They know what he
What up?
can do.
What up,
They know what
Nintendo?
he's like, but
What
they
up?
can't beat him.
Hey, Sean, baby. Hey, I gonna let round one call Mikey Danny like 5 times, but
Did
but it
I?
is what it
My
is.
bad.
Yeah. Hey, man. Nah, Mikey, when he fought Earl, he was already checked out the sport. He was making all that money in the real estate. He was pulling up and goddamn McLarens, one of three out of the world, showing off all the cars. Robert was pissed at him because he wasn't showing up to the gym anymore. Man, I really believe that fight that Robert pushed Mikey to get against Spence was to teach him a lesson and get his ass whooped.
Bro, Mikey the
You
one
know,
thought he seen something. Don't blame that shit on Robert.
Robert was already mad at that man that he wasn't showing up to the goddamn gym.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah, I used to watch all their videos, in Robert's gym. And Mikey just stopped being into that damn videos because he started making all that money in the real estate business. I mean, the guy is wealthy, not rich. Mikey got money, you know. But
I hear you.
yeah, man. But that's on Mikey, man. But Prime Mikey was a problem. Prime Mikey versus Prime Loma would probably be one of the best fights we've ever seen. But salute to Loma. He's always the little guy fighting the bigger guy. I mean, Loma's a small man. He's tiny compared to Haney. He's tiny compared to Tio. I mean, the guy had a great career, man. He did what he had to do. He fought who he had to fight. Tank ran for him for 7 years. That's crazy. Tank running for the little guy with no power, the dances, the ballerina. They want to get me beat, Ness. They want to still try to set me up. You know, it is what it is, man. And Murataya, we'll see how long Murataya. He's just a belt holder. We'll see who's gonna take that from him. But you know what? At least he can say he's a champion. Email, whatever. Since we don't, email's not a bad thing anymore, right, Ness? Since everybody's favorite fighter is an email fighter now.
Yeah, man.
Boots.
We changed our mind now that everybody's getting emailed.
I know, shit. It's the new era. Now you get your bell. You get your bell in Google now. You got that Gmail? Yeah, I got it. I got it. World champion. Okay, I guess I'm just an old head, man, used to the old ways, man, and I gotta adapt to the new era. But yeah, man, that's crazy, man. We'll see, man. I would like to see, you know, uh, Abdullah do a quick turnaround. I mean, he didn't really take any damage, but then again, is he ready for a real big test? We don't know yet, and people don't, promoters don't want to put their money bag out there too soon. So I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, who do you think would be a good test for him now?
For who? For Murataya?
No. For Abdullah, because I mean, we don't think he's ready for a prime champion.
I mean,
or you think he's?
Sam Noakes, bro. Noakes got some pop.
Yeah, but you think he's gonna go overseas?
I mean, this top rank, they invested in him. They should be able to bring Noakes over here for his first American fight. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah. As long as they give him a good bag, but it seems like they don't want to pay anybody unless you're an American star these days, or unless you're messing with Turkey. Maybe Turkey gets that done. But I don't know, man. It's starting to die down a little bit, We're starting to get into these roadblocks where people don't want to fight each other, or they're missing weight so they don't fight each other. Because in my eyes, Keyshawn ducked. I don't care what anybody says. That man ducked. He could have gave him more money. He could have said, you know what, give you $5 million, whatever. Give you 75% of the purse.
Duck who? De Los Santos? You saying the not
making? I think he was scared of the power. That's why he wanted. That's why he wanted to come in so heavy, so he could absorb the punches. Ness, man, it's right in front of us, man. You see it, I see it.
I don't know, bro. Seems weird.
Hey, yo, man, this is a damn shame. No sooner that Raymond Muratalla becomes the official IBF champion, he turned into Mario Barrio.
How?
Well, look at Mario Barrio's situation. What do they say about him? Just think about it. They say he's the weakest champion of the division. Same thing they said about Raymond Muratalla.
Yeah, but you always gonna find a weak link in a division. That's what we do. Like, I'm sure people think that Johnny Beck is the weakest division.
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, but that's
just what Raymond's they do. Strong. I think Raymond's strong. I don't know,
yeah,
man.
But is he stronger? Is he a better champion, in your opinion, than Tank, than Shakur?
I don't know. He don't got...
So then he's the weakest in the division.
What? All right.
I mean, it's logic.
And that word weak makes me cringe. Like,
yeah, but that's the problem with people. You guys get so upset at vocabulary.
There's 3 champions.
That's vocabulary.
Wait. Okay, now you know. Here's my problem. This is me. This is me, guys. This is my opinion, right? Okay, I think if you have the same amount that I do, how are you better than me? If you have more or 2, then you would be the strongest. Wait, this is me. I have a right to my opinion.
Yeah, but your opinion is slightly skewed because you're not factoring
I know,
everything.
But it's still my opinion. It's still my, come on, Ness. It's still my opinion. And I just view things like this. I understand what reality is, Ness, but my opinion is if we all have the same, bro, you got a belt, you don't got 2 belts, you don't got 3 belts. We're all equal here. So give me the right as a champion. Now, yes, am I considered to be the weakest one? Yeah, but at the same time, we're even right now. Come prove that.
All right. Shout out to Zebolone Warrior. My newest follower on Twitch. Let's go, champ. We trying to get to that 100. If you haven't already followed us on Twitch, don't forget to do so. If you are following us there, go ahead and share the show. Same thing if you're watching this on X live video. I need you to hit them retweets, reposts. Same thing if you're listening on X. The more people that retweet and repost, the more people can potentially see the live and jump on and give their opinion. We got Starks, UK, what up?
Yeah, I think Yeah, salute to you, Ness. Yeah, probably the hardest work on this internet. But yeah, I think
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support.
yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Lomachenko retiring like that. But in a way, I'm glad that he didn't hold up the division for too long. But yeah, he's a very talented fighter. But I feel like Bob Arum, ESPN, when they were saying that he was better than Muhammad Ali, better than Marvin Hagler, it kind of put me off him a little bit. But obviously his talent is there for everyone to see. But yeah, they said he also some of your callers say he had the greatest footwork that they've ever seen. Well, I'd instruct everybody to go back and watch this guy called Wilfredo Gomez. He had some great footwork and he had knockout power. That guy was good in terms of footwork. But yeah, but moving on to Murataya, he's a solid fighter, good fighter. But yeah, he's like a title. A title wouldn't really call him a champion per se, but like what everyone else is saying, he's still got to prove himself. But yeah, so some new blood in the division is good. So yeah.
Totally agree,
So
man.
yeah. And I went trying to call in earlier, but I'm a big Terence Crawford fan, so I got Crawford winning against Canelo. Looking forward to that fight. Also, I was going to ask you, see if if Dana White is promoting that, do you think he's going to get the credit, or is that going to go towards Bud? Like if they say, oh, if he does like 800,000, they're going to say, oh, Bud ain't going to get the credit for that. That's Dana White.
Hey,
And
man,
his company.
you should have called in during that show. That is a good point. You know, they hate Bud so much. If he does do good numbers, would they say it's only because Dana promoted and brought in the UFC audience? That's a good point.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, shout out to you. Round one. Have a great show, man. I'm going to sign off now.
You too, brother.
Take it easy.
Thank you for calling in.
All
Please
right,
hit that
brother.
like button.
If anybody could help me find the Liam Pato interview so I can send it to the editor to have that individually cut out. I can't remember. You know, I do so many episodes, I don't remember. If you want to help, that would be dope. You know?
The Liam Paro interview was in the beginning of whatever live it was. It was like the very beginning. Remember, I came on right after him.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'll
no
find
help.
it.
That's no
I
help.
got you. I got you.
Judah, man. If you want to call in, now is the time. Discord is available. X Spaces available. We got a super chat, and that is courtesy of Demo. He says, does that nomination count? Ness, laugh out loud. Shout out round one. Yes, all nominations count, bro. If someone nominates you, you in there like swimwear, homie. Adrian Teosan with the PBC. I don't know. RRT Boxing, Mr. A, $5. Don't forget the long count. He against the white guy Navarrete. The white guy Navarrete got. Who's in against the white guy Navarrete got? I'm so lost. Don't forget the long count. He against the white guy Navarrete got. Hashtag Hardin 3 Faces and Hardin Smoke $5. I don't know who that be or what you be talking about right now. You lost me. But last call for callers. Last call. We got no callers. We going to the raffle. We got no callers. We going to the raffle. Right now is also the last time to accept raffle tickets. If you're trying to get in the PS5 raffle, now is the time. Let me go ahead and double check, make sure I ain't miss any, and then we're going to be spinning the wheel and announcing the new PS5 winner. Double checking. Yep, so far, looks like the last entry was from Mr. Flowers and Maserati. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel. think I gotta switch this now. Alrighty then. Spinning the wheel. Let's see who wins. K Brazy.
That's me.
K
yeah.
Brazy.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
K Brazy won the PS5. Mr. K Brazy, you are the winner. So
I wasn't. Wait a
reach
minute. Wait a
out.
minute. I wasn't looking. Can we get a respin? I wasn't looking.
Too late, champ. K Brazy is the winner. Reach out to me via ThaBoxingVoice DM so that you can send me your full name and mailing address. Ness GTO, Instagram, and Twitter. On to the next one tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern. Peace.
Peace. I'm gonna get